Hey everyone. So if you read the title of this video, you'll most likely know that it's super trendy on YouTube now, just talking about social media and its detriment to society and how much damage it has done. But I don't want to go the standard route of dunking on social media, because in preparing for this video I watched a few similar ones with similar topics, and what I found is that they just very much recycle a lot of the same talking points, and they usually go like social media has distorted beauty because men or women see something and they become jealous of it because they can't have it. And that is true, but it's not the underlying cause. It's a product of what's happened from something else. And what I really want to talk about is something that's not so much talked about, and that's the problem social media has made in our minds, and that would be monoculture. Now, what I mean by monoculture is kind of the globalization of one certain type of lifestyle or one certain type of way to live, which I guess is lifestyle. But say you took a dude from Berlin, Germany, and a dude from Beijing, China in the 1800s. They very much both strived towards probably financial freedom, a beautiful wife, and a lifestyle where they were free. However, the dude from Germany probably wanted a blonde with blue eyes and blonde. I already said blonde. Can't get enough of blondes, I guess. Blonde hair, blue eyes, and he wanted to probably live in a house with a lot of pastures where he could raise, cows and goats and whatnot. And the dude from China probably, now this is gonna sound super racist if I'm wrong, but he probably wanted to have a wife with, standard Chinese features, black hair, luscious black hair, maybe he wanted to be a crop farmer, maybe he wanted to, live as a tradesman or whatever. My point is, they both strived towards something, which was, I guess, freedom in a sense, or what they considered freedom, but it was very much different from one another. They very much had different goals. It was a different font of the same lifestyle. It was a different style of the same lifestyle, because people throughout history mainly want the same thing, to find a beautiful partner, to create a beautiful life, and to be free, whether it's financially or just free from the system and being able to do what you want to do. And so if we fast forward today, we have kind of erased all these thousands, well, not thousands, but at least 100 cultures, and it's kind of become an amalgamation of one huge culture. And the real problem with this isn't that you're going to see something and become jealous, is that you're going to see something and it's going to seem completely within the realm of possibilities for you. Now, what I mean by is, if you look at, say, social media beauty standards, we kind of all we see now is peak beauty, which is mostly white features. Now, we can actually, actually see this happening in society. If you look at South Korea, most of their plastic surgery is literally based on trying to give you more white features. And as brutal as that sounds, that's absolutely the truth. Many of them have their monolids, I think they're called. They kind of like slice their upper eyelids, so they kind of have that double eyelid or whatever it's called. But I know it's a very common procedure, and this is just a small example. Now, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of seeing something on social media and becoming inspired. But just because I see LeBron dunking in the NBA doesn't mean that it's within the realm of possibilities. And the same goes for seeing something on social media. When you see somebody, a tall dude driving a Rolls Royce, first of all, when you say you want that Rolls Royce, do you really want the Rolls Royce, or do you want to get the same attention and validation from other people that see your Rolls Royce? And so when we've kind of turned every single type of thing that we like into one single mold, it really creates a problem where people are wanting things that can never happen. we can never really, 90% of people can't live the lifestyle they see on social media, but because we're so exposed to it, it kind of seems normal, you know. And I also find this a problem because although I don't get jealous on social media, it's very hard to look at normal people when you take a 5 minute scroll to TikTok and all it is multi-million, you know, supermodels just flexing on. There's that, like, that one dude, I can't reference him. He does that stupid dance. It's super niche. I don't even know if anybody knows what I'm talking about. But my point is, you see so many of these top 1%, but on a global scale, top 1% is like 1,000 people on social media, and they're the ones that make it. Because if you actually showcase your normal lifestyle on social media, chances are it's going to be super boring and nobody's going to watch it. And so the only thing that makes it on social media are the extreme exceptions of this kind of monoculture that we've deemed correct. You know, we've kind of threw away everything that the majority didn't like. And so we've lost a lot of features, and that's why I can easily relate this back to art, where kind of all art has become the same. Whereas, you know, if you used to look at Chinese artists, it was very much different from French artists, and we can see that through history, you know. The Renaissance painters painted very differently from the French academic painters, which painted very differently from the Impressionists, which painted very differently from the American academic painters, and so on and so on. And so the same thing goes with kind of everything tied to social media, where we have this kind of unified culture where you have no choice but to like it, because if you actually showcase your own point of view and your own lifestyle, you're not going to make it on social media, because that's just the way it works. And, you know, I think that we all individually need to embrace who we are, and not on that kind of sounds super corny, but we need to embrace our individual cultures, whether it's, you know, wherever you are, because, well, we need to get off of social media, in my opinion. I go in these phases where I delete Instagram and then I kind of reinstall it, and then I doom scroll for a couple of days and then I delete it again. But overall, I feel much better when I don't have it, when I'm not constantly being fed this garbage that is mostly hyper-focused on kind of American culture, which is ironic because America is only a small part of the world. But if you look at what the epitome of being successful on social media is, it's owning a penthouse in Miami, which about 0.001% of the population can actually afford. And this whole kind of lifestyle that social media caters to is, again, mostly based on American lifestyle. And it's funny because there's so much more than that, but we really kind of left that all behind because we've kind of found this to be ideal and the path for everyone. And so you have so many people that are unsatisfied with their lives just because they see something so glamorized on their phone that's happening thousands of kilometers away, when really that reality can never exist for most people, which is okay. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a tragedy that you can't grow up as a rich dude in Miami who goes to a private high school and just kind of be this supermodel, playboy, whatever. I've kind of gone off subject. I think I was supposed to be talking about art in this video. This channel isn't even about art anymore, but that's beside the point, I guess. But yeah, those are just kind of my thoughts on social media. Like I said, I don't really like the talking points of, oh, you become jealous. I don't really become jealous. I think I become sad that when I see like a bunch of dudes doing better than me, it kind of makes you feel like you're supposed to be doing better, even though everybody has their own pace and you're seeing the exceptions of who's doing good, and a lot of people aren't doing good, but you don't see that because that gets filtered out. So it kind of creates this distorted reality. You know, and the same goes for any beauty trend or any subject for that matter. So yeah, this was kind of a rant. I'm not even sure what the title of this video was, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.